This is Forza Horizon 4, which is the latest release in the open world racing spin-off of the Forza series. It's handled by Playground with some help from Turn 10, and what we get here is the largest and most intense and best title they've ever released, as I crash into a wall embarrassingly. Anyways, following Australia, we head to Britain for just one incredible experience. So we've got a large-scale map that's about the same size as Horizon 3, but we've got a larger selection of city-based areas. We've got seasons, weekly seasons. So when you start the game, you're racing and you're working through different events that take place over each of the seasons. And from there, you're able to unlock regular gameplay. It takes quite a few hours to do, but it really does open up once you reach that point where you're actually working through seasons 1 week at a time. And this plays into the whole new experience of Horizon life and team adventures. So with there being special seasons, you're actually playing with others in a dynamic open world. You can see that right here on the player list. It's an evolution of their drivatars driving around. Now you just have ghosts of real people experiencing the same sort of environment that you are. And it's the fall season right now. And they shift week after week. You got everything, just like the regular game. You start with summer, then you move into the fall, and then you go to winter, and then you go to spring. They're all here and they're all beautifully captured. It's a gorgeous game. I'd like to start by kind of going over some of the more intense details of what's changed. So we have hundreds of cars available. There's going to be DLC cars, obviously. We've got an expansive auto show. Just hundreds of options, tons of different manufacturers. You're able to customize your car with tons of different designs that are created by others or you create yourself. So many different colors, special colors. You can customize the vehicles, tune them, enhance them, update them, do whatever you want with the cars. It's crazy. But on top of that, they take things a step further this time as you're able to have your own custom character. So your custom character, you can change their clothing, their dances, what they look like. There's tons of gear to unlock. You can be all kinds of fancy. Their feet, their hats. You can give them cool sunglasses. You can tweak their nose so it's funny. And you even put special outfits on, like the chicken outfit, which is fun. You can do emotes. And it all builds into this more classic experience. So Horizon sort of moved away from the sort of cutscenes and stuff. And they're bringing them back a little bit, just the right amount of balance. You can have your custom license plate be whatever you'd like. There's a ton of horn sounds. Some are really fantastic. Like where is the Windows XP shutdown? Which is just, that's hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious. And there's so much care put into the things that you can customize and the things that you can tweak. I thought Forza Horizon 3 was the best racing game ever. It really, to me, it was just amazing. The sense of freedom, the interaction, the exploration that you could do was incredible. And this is better. This is a better experience of that. At first I was hesitant about the seasons, but when you're racing you can change them to whatever you like, which is what we're going to do to show off the different seasons that are present in the game. But it's just this large open world where you're just free to do whatever you want. Walls aren't as restrictive anymore. Trees, more of them can be knocked down. You can interact with the environment further. In the winter, some of the lakes freeze over and you're able to drive along them. Usually I have fancier cars, but I think the Bond car is pretty badass for this. But I've been spending all of my money, usually I'd have a Lambo for these reviews. But you can buy houses now, so that you can have little properties across the world. There's tons of new events, and the events are changed, which we'll get to in a sec. There's, of course, showcase events are back. They're bigger and better than ever. The Halo one is amazing if you're a Halo fan. There are hundreds of boards to smash, tons of different vehicle types and circuits to explore, and it's one seamless experience. There's barn finds too, and danger jumps as well. It's crazy how much content is within this game. Absolutely wild. and the cars are more authentic and gorgeous than ever. With this being Xbox One X enhanced, we've got a 4K 30 with HDR. The HDR is stunning on this, as is the resolution quality. There's also a other mode that you can play where it has a high frame rate of 60 FPS, and we're going to show that off a bit later. That is 1080 at 60. Personally, I can't move away from the 4K. I mean, 30 isn't a huge difference for me in this one. Like, just for the visual quality of the world, I couldn't leave it. It's so stunning. And I didn't think that the look of, the British countryside would be quite as appealing as Australia, but there's something about this place that just feels so right and so awesome. It truly is a stunning experience. And everything you do is like compared to others and interactive, and it connects with others. Anna's back if you need to find things from the D-pad. Another really cool feature is a chat, so you can do quick chats and tell people, nice car and stuff, and you unlock more things. So we're going to jump into the settings. Of course, there's gorgeous clouds. The sky is just absolutely stunning. The visuals and everything. The trees look amazing. They sway in the wind, which was a huge problem I had with some of the earlier Forza titles. The draw distance is stunning. The lakes, the water, the buildings, everything is just so amazing. The puddles look good. It can rain. There's snow. The sky changes. The nights are different. It's just amazing. The iconic balloons return, and it's just crazy. Like, of course, there's lots of different views too that you can experience, depending on the type of driver you are. But we're going to jump into the menu and kind of show off some of the features here. So first off, of course, we've got our map. We're going to put a note down for a race so that we can go to that after we're done here. But basically, you press start, and your whole experience starts with your home and your Horizon life. So to start, the music, the radio channels are back. OneDrive integration is not available. Sadly, they couldn't do that. You can see the player list, and is that Major Nelson? The benefit of playing early. Anyways, he's almost putting me to shame. As I was mentioning earlier, you now level up each individual kind of competition, whether you're online, offline, playing with others, doing stunt races, which are like movie scenes, or doing cross country, or doing road races, or dirt. Everything is a separate event, and you level up in each of them. There's different blueprints you can work through. We're going to get to the blueprinting system because that's how we're going to play the different seasons. You can even kind of change your car on the spot. There's a drone mode that you can go and check out your drone. If you want to see what's happening in your season, again, this is later game stuff, guys. Once you reach a certain level and you work through all of the seasons and stuff, you can see all these different events that can happen on the map. There's also these things called like Forzathons, which are like huge community events that everyone can race to and explore at the same time, which is crazy and cool. And then you work together to get points and kind of score for the team. It's a really, really neat event. It takes place over a couple of series. You see the Autumn Forzathon. So there's that. Going back, there's so much to this game. It's unreal, the quality of this. We now have, we have the traditional wheel spin. So you do a wheel spin, and that's how you get loot. You get costumes, you get credits, you get cars, you get whatever you want. And you earn these while you're playing, but now we have the super wheel spin, which is 3 at a time, which is crazy, obviously. The horns, everything in the game, so cool, available through your wheel spins. And it's a nice sense of like progression, getting those. You can do head-to-head modes at any time. You can see your stats. There's a lot of mixer integration as well, and it's really is the evolution of their initial idea of going and seeing your friends in the game, like the drivatars, but now it's actually like people in a world. And once you get to certain levels, you unlock new things. There's adventure modes. Everything in the game can be played locally if you'd like, or you can play it online with others, competing, working together. There's tons of different races, different modes, different competitions, and it's all one seamless adventure that you can work through. It's crazy what they've done. The creative hub, where you do your libraries, your tuning sharings, your blueprint designs. You can see all of your cars. Every single car now has a mastery or a skill set to it. So you're actually unlocking skill points for each individual car that you drive, increasing the depth and quality of this option, which is crazy. Like, I don't know how they are able to evolve things so much like they are able to. There's Rivals is back. If you like that kind of thing, you can make your clubs. You know, if you want to join clubs, create your own, whatever. There's the marketplace. There's going to be expansions and everything like that. Maybe we'll cover them. Who knows, if you guys like the stuff. So we're going to go to that race right now. And if you were curious about the car, this is one of the Bond vehicles. It's a 64. It's, I think, been my favorite vehicle aside from the Halo Warthog. It's unbelievable how great this game is. Like, I can't even really describe the level of quality and the detail and how stunning everything is. That's a scenery point, by the way. There's some of those across the world. Like, there's castles and cities and open landscapes. It's just like amazing to explore and venture throughout it. So we're going to a race here. You've seen the fall season, so we're not going to focus on that for a race. We're going to jump in here. So you immediately, like I was mentioning, solo, co-op, PvP, there's rivals. We're going to do a solo event. We're going to create a blueprint. So blueprints were introduced in Horizon 3, and these are where you're able to customize things, you know, pick different cars, have different fun things going on. Let's do a barn finds. Let's do an open event. We're going to go to the event settings, and we're in autumn, so let's go to winter, and let's do a sunrise, and should we do foggy, a light snow? We'll do a light snow progression. Let's do fixed, and then you're able to edit the name and create a blueprint, and you can share it with others, and they can play it too, which is really cool. So the barn finds, obviously, I found a number of the cars. I'm trying to get all of them, but they seem to be tied to the seasons and stuff, kind of. Like, there's autumn barn finds, so we'll have to see how that goes. Like, there's generic barn finds that you get, and then, well, anyways, it's a complex system. But everything you can see is like a fancier presentation. It loads quickly. It looks great. The cars are just amazing. You can go to the Vista area, and you can pop open the cars, look at the different windows, see the different engines, and really interact with the vehicles. I love the new presentation. It feels lively. It feels intense. The music is awesome. I've turned it off for copyright reasons, obviously, but yeah. So here's the snow, and you can drive in the snow, and it's like realistic. And I'm Canadian, so I'm very used to the snow, and they do sort of get it quite right. I will say it's very nice. It feels, it kind of feels like home, just the weather and the conditions in this. Obviously, with this being a Forza title, if you mess up, you can press Y and you can rewind, and you can rewind further, and you can view replays. That kind of messed me up, and I think I missed. No, I didn't miss it. Okay, cool. So yes, you're seeing the weather here, the snow. You can tune the difficulty to however you'd like. I totally forgot to turn off the line because I know a lot of people some of the past Forza videos, or I guess streams, complained that I had it on. But that is here, and you can make this game play as difficult or as easy as you'd like it to, or as you'd like it to. You can really find the right setting for whatever kind of driver you are. Now, I wasn't a big fan of racing games. I've warmed up to them quite a bit over the generation and reviewing games and stuff like that. But there's something about the Forza series that is just so alluring. Like, it's gorgeous. It looks so cool. I have no idea why I'm so far behind. That's a little bit shocking to me, to be honest. Usually I finish first every time because I have it set to that, because I just want to have fun in these games, and I can, I have that choice. But you can play seriously, you can play competitively. There are fun games online to play, and they've just made it really easy to connect and play with others at any point if you'd like to. And I think that's really sort of the end goal with what they've been building over the years as far as the integrations of multiplayer and the drivatars. And I think that's really cool. The drivatars, for context, are kind of interpretations of how your friends drive. So, like, I have a drivatar in my friend's world, and it's going to drive like I do, hitting people and stuff like that, fun things. I think I've gotten a lot better at that. I don't really bump into people as much. But you get the context of what I'm saying. I really do love the interactions with the environment now. You see how I slowed my vehicle down considerably, hitting the rocks. But you get an idea of what I'm trying to get across, is that The environment is a lot more lively in this one and more realistic, and somehow they've added seasons to all of that too, and it's just absolutely wild that they were able to do all of this in one entry. Like, just think of it, went from like a standard gorgeous Australia world, seriously that game is incredible. If you missed that one, I definitely still suggest checking out, to something that's like a full living seasonally changing world. The technology is just absolutely amazing, and you can experience it online, at any point with others, and it's seamless, and it loads fast, and it looks great. This is also a Xbox Play Anywhere title, so if you buy it once digitally, you own it on Xbox One and Windows 10 at the same time, which I think is pretty cool. Obviously, we've got cross-play and everything like that, which is nice. Seeing the finishing style here. So talking more about vehicles, what you drive now actually matters a lot more. So you're no longer just driving vehicles, you can drive any vehicle in any weather condition, but you get the most out of it by driving, say, a buggy in the dirt or something like that. The terrain and the weather does matter with the type of vehicle you pick. They've redone the tiring system. So I learned this when I was in a Forza multiplayer session with, I believe it was a Turn 10 representative. Anyways, and they're talking about the tires and that aspect of it being redone. For this particular release, they took a lot of time to, revamp it. They still want it to be fun, but they also want it to be, realistic and stuff. And I say they found the right balance, because it feels a lot more natural driving around. Everything feels more weighted. And there are a lot more settings that you can actually tweak for the types of tires in the vehicles and everything like that. And I thought it was very well done. So we're going to continue. We're going to do another race, but we're not going to do the whole race to show off another season. We want to show off all the seasons so that you can see them, so this might be a little bit longer of a review for this one. But it's hard to get everything across because there's so much in this game. It's so impressive. Cool, let's get that going. We'll do the Lotus again, just because it's a little bit faster and the races go by a little bit quicker when we have these vehicles. I really wanted to show off the full winter one because I think there's such a change between, like, when you look at summer and you look at fall and you look at spring, they do look different, but there's such a change when you drop into a winter condition with the snow and the weather, and like just the way it kind of changes is crazy. I love the spring in this game though. It just looks gorgeous. I mean, every season looks gorgeous in this. I can't get over the visuals. The thing with the trees moving and stuff was such a breath of fresh air for me, because that was something that bothered me so much, is you'd have all these intense winds and it'd be like the trees are standing still, but now they actually sway and crap. It's crazy. And just like the level of destruction, again going back to that, it feels so much more like natural and lively, as you see like a wall getting torn apart, or you rip down a sign, or you go through a tree. There's mountains, there's red lakes you can rip through, again some of them becoming icy. There's tons of different races. There's cross country, there's circuit racing, street racing, different fun events, and it's like, it's hard to describe just how much they actually put into this. And it feels like there's like a bit more of like an actual narrative going on too, just in the theme of the festival this time around. I don't know where they're going next after this one, but it's like I really don't want to leave this landscape because they've done such a good job. Like, I don't think of this country as being something so, wildly beautiful as this game presents it as. Maybe others think of it as being more intense and like that, but there's just something about this game that brings the world to life, and it looks so good. See, I mean, like, look at these visuals. I know the frame rate is 60 is nice, but like, it's crazy. I like how they've just dropped me off where I was racing. That's hilarious. Alright, so we're gonna switch over to another weather. Like, I can't get enough of the fall, actually. It's so beautiful. And I know this isn't giving a perfect indication of each season. Like, I'm just trying to give like a good enough idea so that you can look at each and be like, this is kind of how the world looks in this one. But there is something special about working through each of the seasons, really fast to get through the game, that you're able to experience each of them. And I love the snow, like the soft feeling. Sometimes it'd be heavy, but sometimes it was just calm, relaxing snow. There's something about it. Or the beautiful summer nights rolling across, or the sunrises, and just beautiful, like this car, this Lambo. It plays so good, it feels so right. I highly suggest this Forza entry. If you're a fan of the series, you're gonna get it anyways. What does it matter? But you know, if you've been curious about these titles, they are incredible. And I do suggest playing each of them if you can get your hands on each of the Forza titles, the Horizon ones. Each Horizon game does something differently. They're all enhanced except for the second one, so they all look good. And they each do something different. You can see that evolution of the series as they get to this point. And I don't know how they evolve it further, but I really did think that Horizon 3 was like, you know, the pinnacle of what you could do with an open world racing title. But they continue to innovate. And obviously, if you didn't get it, you know, what I've been mentioning, there's full day-night cycles in this, you know, different weathering conditions and sky patterns, and it all looks stunning. Like, there's no performance problems, there's no hiccups, there's no bugs, there's no issues that I've come across. It's just been a clean, seamless, gorgeous time where it was just fun to drive and explore and just take the sights. So we're gonna switch over to the 1080 60 FPS because I did say that I would show that off. Influence, so your influence kind of levels, you know, you up and everything like that. You're seeing the tiers that I'm moving up. I got new dirt racing, so I'll look at new competitions to work through in my general level too. And then the fan level works into that. There's a lot of complexities to everything. It's simple to understand, and they tell you everything you need through like a long-term sort of tutorial setup, but you get it. And the showcase events are so cool in this one, if that didn't come across enough. Like, as a Halo fan, I was blown away by the Halo event. It's one of the endgame type ones, but it's so cool. They really did put a good effort into that. So you're able to go into the video segments, and you can change the HDR settings and the graphics right like that. So we got to performance. Alright, as you can see, we've switched over to 1080 60 FPS. And yeah, that fluidity is kind of really awesome, actually, to be honest. It looks really cool. But the downgrade in the visuals, for me, are just too much to ignore. I mean, but it's nice that they give us that choice, right? Because some people feel that the racing games can only be experienced at a 60 FPS quality. And now that choice is available to you if you like it. Personally, I think with the style of the Horizon games, I've never really had a problem with them not being 60. I mean, eventually, someday, we're gonna get that 4K 60. You know, we just gotta give it time in a newer console, but you know what I mean. Like, this is a nice choice for people, and if it's something you like, I mean, obviously it's available. Oh, by the way, you can hit the animals in this, so it's not worth trying. It is available for you, but I do think it looks a little bit rougher around the edges, just quality-wise. It still looks really good, but I can't go back from that 4K on this particular title. I still think it's really cool. There's, you know, having this choice. There's so many things you can do in this world. It's so expansive. The skill points you earn, the races you enjoy, playing with others, playing by yourself, visiting unique locations, doing stunts, hitting scenery. There's so much to it, and it's going to only evolve as we see the seasons progress and the additional DLC content release over time. I really do think they've knocked it out of the park with this one. Again, that's a wall you can't break. Horizon 3 to me was the perfect racing game, and this one, you know, was better than that. They blew away my expectations on it. I was hesitant at first, and I was like, you know, the map's not too much bigger, but what they've done with this, the things that they've achieved with the visual quality, and the seasons, and the new content, and the different performance modes, and the ways you can play this, and the seamless integration of multiplayer and single player, and the weather condition things, and all the cars that are available, and all the events. It's amazing, and it's a must-play experience for racing fans. I mean, they've really, truly captured that open world. And they're so, like, kind of talking about the graphics, there's little bits of pop-in, but the tiniest amount that, unless you're looking for it like I am when I'm reviewing things, you don't notice it. And Yeah, the 60 FPS is damn smooth, but for me, it's all about resolution. Choice is yours, though. And those are my thoughts on Forza Horizon 4.